Yeah, no doubt. Hey, this is one of my favorite things talking with you, Stephen, because my brain just gets going, and I didn't even plan to ask you this, but you just hit on something important there, roster construction, and I hear from so many people behind the scenes, Stephen, that Lane Kiffin is going to drive Ole Miss into the ground because I don't want to say he's abandoned high school recruiting. That's not accurate, but it doesn't seem to be a priority for the Rebels. They're more focused on the transfer portal. And I realize, I mean, at this time last year, a lot of people were saying this is going to be a disaster. Not that their 8-4 regular season was great or anything, but I think there's some genius to it. When you're in the same division as Alabama and Auburn and LSU and A&M, who are historically going to recruit better than you, and that's before even looking to the East and the two programs coming in from the Big 12. So while it's easy to, I don't know if mock's the right word, but just kind of point to the issues in Lane Kiffin's strategy, could you see some potential brilliance in it as well as he attacks the transfer portal as well as anyone?
Absolutely. I think there's sort of I don't know if market efficiency is the right term here, but it does feel like, I almost think the best coaches that use this, it's a balance of high school and the transfer portal. If you have a specific need, you go and get it. We saw this work well for LSU last season. It's worked well nationally with USC and Florida State recently. USC almost made the playoff. You look next year, Florida State, one of the favorites to potentially make the playoff. One of the big reasons why is they've been able to balance transfers in high school recruiting. I think there are some guys who get overlooked in the recruiting process and they may end up at a small school. You can take a chance on them. They come in for 1-2 years at a place like Ole Miss and shine. But I think your broader point is correct. I mean, Ole Miss is going to be out recruited by 6, 7, 8 schools in the SEC most years. So you have to find a way to close that gap. And one of the ways is the transfer portal. Now, I wouldn't go heavy transfer portal every year because you can't predict who's going to be in and out. And if you have a major need on defense at linebacker, there may not be guys who are SEC caliber players entering the portal. So there is some risk to it. But I also think it gives teams an opportunity to reload and also helps teams like Ole Miss try to close the gap to Alabama and LSU. So I actually like what Lane Kiffin is doing, as long as we don't see him try to bring in 25, 26 transfers a year and bank on that being his primary source for talent.